I think arriving in Dallas and seeing just all the pageantry around the game and the history of the game, and just getting a feel for that has been fantastic. To be honest, we've been so moment by moment. You don't have the luxury to have like big picture thought process. It's just kind of, are we accomplishing what we need to do today to affect the 29th? And so though we've enjoyed arriving and being in Dallas and being with the Cotton Bowl folks, we're also just kind of narrowed in on what we have to accomplish. Well, I hope pretty locked in. I think these guys have. This has been a journey. There's been a huge investment, physical, emotional, and so I think this is the culmination of that. And with all of that at stake, these guys are going to be ready to play. Now we're going to use every moment we have from now until Saturday to prepare ourselves. But they are locked in. They're focused. He is exceptionally talented. His arm strength, his confidence in his arm, really impressive for a young player. And even saying young player, I feel like every game he's played as a starter, you just see his maturation. You see his game evolving. You see his comfort level in the pocket. I can't compliment him enough, and just how impressed I've been with him. Oh, yeah. We again. I think we've done a little bit of self-scouting coming out of the season, but for us, it's more about how you make your opponent play left-handed, how you take away their strengths or try to neutralize some of the things they do well. And so our focus level right now is really on that more than bigger picture improvements. Certainly limiting point totals is important to the success of the team, and we've done that to varying levels of success through the year. But we're hoping to build on that. But more than importantly, just can we neutralize the things that we think Clemson does really well, and at the end of the day, play fundamentally sound football. It's been over a month since we played, and so I think for us, it's been the 3 points of focus have been technique, execution, and finish. Those three things we have to do really well Saturday. I think the conditioning component, preparing yourself to play a four-quarter plus game, in an emotionally charged environment, that's gonna be a challenge. I think Coach Kelly's put together a really good schedule, and I think different from other bowl games, it's not been so much about depth development as it is preparing to win the game. I mean, sometimes when you go into a bowl game, you're looking to have like another spring practice where you're getting your young players in it. This has been about preparing this team to be its very best on the 29th, and I think within that spirit, we've neutralized some of that conditioning components. There'll still be an element of getting our cleats in the ground early in the game, and then within that, it's tackling on defense. How we tackle our body positions at the finish, and we've spent a ton of time on that. But those will be things that we'll need to do well to have a chance to play our best Saturday. I don't know that you practice differently. I think you just maybe bring a couple of things to the surface as focal points. But we haven't changed the way we practice. There's been a heightened, particularly coming off the season, right? Going into the SC game, you're 11 games in. This is your 12th. You pretty well know how your team's going to respond over the course of 4 quarters. I think with the layoff, we just getting back to some of the things that are core tenets, bursting to the ball every snap, body positions on the finishes, just making sure we're focused on those things has been important.
What's the balance of adding a new wrinkle, so they've had so long to study on the film versus just trying to do what you do?
I think that is one of the more challenging things, and I think as a coach you can really second guess yourself even in the planning, just in terms of how deep do you go to change. And I think you just have to keep the the foremost goal for us is that our players are playing with confidence, and I think two things drive that. One is they know the plan is meant to take away the opponent's strength. So in that sense, you have room to maneuver a little bit. And the other one is that they're doing things that they've done, and that they're confident in doing. And so it is a fine line, and every day I go back and forth in my mind where that line is. But we're in a good place now. The plan's kind of been well grooved over a couple weeks, and so we feel good about things heading into Saturday.
How do you pace the players to make sure that they're not peaking too soon and you don't spend all your energy?
As far as the game plays,
Not just a game, but just as the week goes.
uh-huh. It's funny. I haven't felt this. I mean, these guys are really well trained. This is a really mature team. I mean, these guys don't go into this type of environment and this type of game without awareness of what it's going to take. No stage is too big for them. They've handled that part of this really well. Even to the point where the work we did back home leading up to this was as spirited and as intense as we've had. I mean, it was incredible, and so I don't concern myself so much with them pacing themselves through the week. As the game goes, it's really going to be relying on the things that we've kind of had as core tenets all year, in terms of expecting adversity and having a script for how we handle adversity. If things are going well for us, understanding that the opponent is going to counterpunch and we need to be ready for that. Those are things that we've had as part of our mantra the entire season. That'll be no different on the 29th.
Where do you think your strengths lie based on what Clemson runs and what are their DNA? Where do you think that matchup is?
Well, as far as Clemson, they are clearly, as talented offensively as any team in the country. I mean, they have a quarterback that can distribute the ball wherever he wants to. It's really impressive with how quickly he releases the football. They have a running back that is as good as any we've played. I mean, he is a powerful, explosive runner. And then they have perimeter skill that, it's explosive play, threat every time the ball's in the air. Their offensive line and tight ends, I think, do as good of a job of block angles and creating spaces. They're obviously really well coached, and so all those things present unique challenges. Whether we complement that in any way, shape, or form, I think it's more to me about what do we need to make sure we do to minimize. And part of that is can you get yourself in the right body position to tackle the running back? If you're using your arms or if you're out of position, you're going to have a problem. Eye discipline and transition in the secondary is going to be important. We can't give those receivers space. We have to take the space away. The quarterback presents his own challenges, and he knows pre-snap, where the open windows are. We have to do something to create a little indecision there if we can. And those are things that are important. And, at the end of the day, we're going to have to execute really well to have the chance to neutralize the offense.